Most travelers come to Italy for the icons, the Colosseum, the canals, the cliff towns. But the royal palaces tell a bigger, more spectacular story. Norman kings, Spanish Bourbons, Medici dukes, and Habsburg dreamers. Today we are counting down Italy's most spectacular royal palaces, with quick history, what makes each one special, and a simple way to see each at its best. Ready? Let's roam! Number 10. Stupinigi Hunting Lodge, Turin. Built for the House of Savoy as a ceremonial base for royal hunts, Stupinigi is Filippo Juvarra's Baroque stage set, a star-shaped plan that radiates from an oval hall crowned by a bronze deer. Rooms sparkle with stucco, mirrors, and painted ceilings, but it never feels overwhelming. The scale invites you in. This is where court life stepped out of the city and performed in the landscape, which is why it still reads as fresh and playful. Walk the central axis in the early morning, pause beneath the deer, and let the symmetry tell you everything about power, ritual, and spectacle. Number 9. Royal Palace of Genoa, Liguria. Facing Via Balbi in the Strade Nuove district, this palace began with the Balbi and Durazzo families before the Savoy made it royal. Inside, intact 18th century rooms unfold in sequence, gilding and frescoes leading to a hall of mirrors that was designed to rival the great galleries of Rome and Versailles. From the U-shaped terrace, you look across Genoa's port, a perfect visual of a maritime republic that later embraced monarchy. You come for the shine, you stay because the interiors feel lived in. Furniture, paintings by Van Dyck and Luca Giordano, and views that tie grandeur to the sea. Time a late morning visit so natural light dances across the mirrors, then step outside for a clean harbour shot. Number 8. Miramare Castle, Trieste. Miramare is a Habsburg daydream over the Adriatic, built for Archduke Ferdinand Maximilian and Charlotte of Belgium. The story turns tragic when Maximilian later becomes Emperor of Mexico and is executed, which makes the castle's romantic terraces, nautical-themed woodwork, and intimate salons feel even more human. The surrounding park is a living collection of trees and coastal paths that soften the white masonry and open, quiet coves for reflection. Come in the late afternoon when the water calms and the stone warms in color, then frame the castle and horizon in a single line for a shot that feels cinematic without effort. Number 7. Royal Palace of Naples, Campania. Domenico Fontana started this palace for the Spanish viceroys, and the Bourbons turned it into the Southern Court's urban stage on Piazza del Plebiscito. The grand staircase is theatre, marble flights that split and rise like a procession, while state rooms blend Neapolitan craftsmanship with Spanish taste in parquet, tapestries, and chandeliers. Statues on the facade tell the political lineage of Naples as a capital. What you feel here is a city that knew ceremony, from balcony to square, and that scale still animates the piazza today. Begin with a slow pan outdoors to set size, then move inside to the staircase for an immediate jump from open air to opulence. Number 6. Quirinale Palace, Rome. Set on one of Rome's highest hills, the Quirinale shifted from papal summer residence to royal palace to the seat of Italy's president. That continuity matters. You are walking into rooms where power still gathers. Courtyards, frescoed halls, and deep gardens sit atop a ridge that looks toward St. Peter's Dome, so you get both statecraft and skyline. Tours follow different routes through the complex, and the garden option, when available, gives you Rome's quiet side high above the streets. Book the route that includes the gardens if you can, then step out to Piazza del Quirinale for clean city views that place the palace in Rome's map of hills. Number 5. Royal Palace of Turin, Piedmont. This is the Savoy dynasty in stone. A formal enfilade that carries you from audience rooms to a throne room and onto one of Europe's great treasure spaces, the Royal Armoury. Next door on the same ticketed route, the Chapel of the Holy Shroud returns after a long restoration. Black marble and daring geometry that turn a relic setting into pure Baroque drama. The complex forms the core of the royal museums, so one entrance unlocks art, architecture, and ceremony. Enter from Piazza Castello and let the sequence of rooms pull you forward, pausing on door frames for layered shots that show rank and ritual in a single view. Number 4. Norman Palace, Palermo. Europe's oldest continuously used royal palace sits on layers of Arab foundations, then rises into a Norman court that hired Byzantine mosaicists. The Palatine Chapel is the jewel, walls and dome covered in gold tesserae, Christ Pantocrator above, prophets and kings below, and a rare wooden muqarnas ceiling painted with scenes in an Islamic hand. You feel Sicily's medieval blend of cultures in one room, Latin, Greek, and Arab traditions speaking to each other without conflict. Move slowly, let your eyes adjust, and you will see the mosaics glow even in soft light. Number 3. Palazzo Pitti and the Boboli Gardens, Florence. Luca Pitti's private palace became the Medici powerhouse, then passed to the Habsburg Lorraine, and finally the Savoy, when Florence briefly served as Italy's capital. Inside, galleries and parade rooms teach a short course in courtly display, ceiling after ceiling telling stories of ambition and taste. Step out to Boboli and you meet the prototype of the Italian garden, axial views, terraces, grottos, and carved stone that shaped garden design across Europe. The historic Vasari corridor that runs toward the Uffizi adds a thread that ties palace, river, and government into one walk when open on scheduled routes. Film a tight interior sequence, then walk to the amphitheater and along the cypress lane for geometry, shade, and long city views. Number 2. Reggia di Venaria Reale, outside Turin. Venaria was conceived as a hunting domain and court theatre for the Savoy, with architects across generations shaping a Baroque landscape of palaces, service courts, and gardens. The Galleria di Diana, also called the Galleria Grande, is a white light machine, a long vaulted hall where ribs and stucco float above patterned floors. The restored gardens frame the building with parterres and long sight lines that make filming easy and walking restful. You come here to feel scale done right, monumental but legible, where a single hallway shot or garden axis tells a complete story of power, leisure, and design. Number 1. Royal Palace of Caserta, Campania. Caserta is the Bourbon answer to Europe's greatest courts, designed by Luigi Vanvitelli for a king who wanted a new capital outside Naples. It reads like a city under one roof: royal apartments, a court theatre, a chapel, and service wings. Then a park that runs for kilometers with fountains, basins, and a final cascade fed by an aqueduct. The point is not just size, it is the choreography of space, staircases that reveal ceilings in stages, salons that open one after another, waterworks that carry your eye to the hills. Walk the central axis away from the palace toward the great cascade. Stop midway, then turn back for a frame that makes the building feel endless. If time allows, rent a bike or use the shuttle so you can reach the far basins without rushing. That is our list. 10 palaces that show how Italy's rulers shaped art, power, and daily life. So tell me which one surprised you and drop your favorites in the comments. Save this video if you are planning a trip and keep it on your watch list if you are here for the history and views. And if this helped, tap subscribe and turn on alerts so you do not miss the next city guide. Until next time, ciao.